Well,
So,
I don't see a car. Is that a car out front?
thank you.
Yes.
Make a motion, we approve the January 7th minutes as written.
Second.
All in favor? Okay. Those have been signed, the payroll's been signed.
Okay.
You're good on that. I'm gonna deviate from the proposed agenda. Rec director.
Basketball going full tilt. So tonight, the 5-6 girls are in Bridgeton. 3-4 girls and boys are both playing games into February. They end the 14th. 5-6 boys and girls will be playing until March. We've got biddy basketball on Saturdays. They're practicing their skills and drills, and that will also go till February 15th. So at the community center, the fitness membership for new and renewing members, we are offering a 1-month bonus from January 31st. So anyone that's interested in joining or renewing their membership, we're offering a free month. So come see us for that. We've got a few new things going on. We've got a homeschool kids play group on Mondays from 10 to 11. And we've got an indoor walking group on Thursdays from 8 to 12. As usual, Thursdays we still have our coffee hour at 9:30. And we are moving yoga to Wednesday nights at 6. Through the spring. This upcoming Monday, although it is a holiday, we will still have watercolor and paint class. It's free, bring your own supplies, 1 to 3 o'clock at the community center. Next week, Wednesday the 22nd, we have a meeting at 6:30. A few things on the agenda will be the Frost Mountain Dog Sled Race, which has been postponed until February 15th and 16th. And just some upcoming fundraisers and events for the month of February and March.
Sweet. You heard anything from Rich Holden?
Well, I left him a message. We haven't got a date. It's Michelle this morning. And she had left a message with him too. So he's working on a schedule, I'm sure.
Yep.
To get us going next door.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I'm all set.
All right, go wrestle.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Tax collector treasurer, Ms. Boyle.
All right. I'm giving you all the expense reports up to date. I printed them in color, so if there were any reds, you can see them. We had a demo yesterday on the credit card processing system that is integrated with Creo. And we were very impressed. They sent me a contract. We'll also be getting a scan tool, so people don't have to hand us their credit cards anymore. And that's all at no charge. The rates for the credit cards will be 2.6%. Unless it's American Express, then it's 3%. And people can pay their tax bills online with a check, and it would be a $2.95 transaction fee. But I think that the taxpayers will be very happy with the platform. It's branded with our logo and so forth, and it accesses their bills directly, so you can see exactly what you owe on that date, and you can make a payment either by credit card or by check. So I just gotta get this back to them, so they should be able to get us up and running with this right around the same timeline that the website goes live. So people can go right on the website and have access to this. What else do I have? Michelle wanted me to just verify if she would have permission, if we have permission to reach out to the contractors for the ADA situations. Such as Holden the plumber that's
Yep.
doing that next door. We wanted to get prices on what he could get for the toilets, because Michelle has researched everything that we need for both of these bathrooms. We did research and came up with the best price for the paper supplies and all the dispensers. We ordered them, they are here. We didn't have them installed yet because we're still waiting for the bars and the handrails. And then we thought maybe it would be better if whoever's doing it to do it all at once.
Yep.
So nothing gets in the way of whatever else they're doing, but we do have that all ready to go, so.
I would say you have, yes.
Okay, and she did look for toilets that just had the handle problem, the handle's on the wrong side. And it's better just to get the whole toilet, so we're going with pricing out entire toilets, which makes sense. Let's see. Plus. Oh, down in the basement, we've been down in the basement working, getting everything organized down there, because it's been a disaster since that flood. There are shelves down there that are, what are they called, the shelves that were in Wanda's office that had the files, what they call it, I don't know, the files like in a doctor's office, they have the tabs on the outside. We don't really need those, and they're down in the basement. We wanted to sell those and take that money and buy shelves that we can actually use to put our boxes. We're reboxing things downstairs, labeling them, and stacking them on shelves that hopefully we can get. And Public Works is coming tomorrow with dump truck, because we do have a bunch of junk down there that we can get rid of. Some stuff down there is actually still wet, so we're getting rid of some stuff as long as, we don't need it. And when Mike did the construction in this bathroom, there's also construction debris we gotta get rid of. So Public Works is taking care of that tomorrow, but we did want permission to post these shelves to see if we could sell them. Okay.
I'm good.
And
Yeah. There's a fellow, James Doucette, called from Echo. Whit had been, he visited Whit. Do you think there's anything there that the town office could use that he has? He has file cabinets and all kinds of stuff.
And he probably just file cabinets.
The regular file,
File cabinets.
yeah,
I mean, there's
that's what.
desks and conference room chairs.
no steel racks or anything, or?
There's a couple steel cabinets,
Uh-huh.
but they're this kind of skinny ones and shallow.
Mm,
They're more shallower than these floating tubes.
Uh-huh.
So like putting those file boxes in, I'm not even sure those would fit in there.
So is that anything you think you could use, or?
No, problem what we're looking at is like something you'd get at the Home Depot, like one of those,
Yeah.
industrial shelves that are about the same size as a box that we can line up.
Uh-huh.
And we do have a problem because the ceiling's so low down there, we can't have a top shelf, so we need something that we can assemble and leave top shelf off, because it's true, we can't get a box up on a top shelf.
Maybe we get some plastic shelves, so they won't rust, and the supports and everything. Yeah, it does get wet down there. Yeah. Anyway,
Hopefully it'll never get wet again.
well.
Say that.
Yeah, yeah,
Sell away,
okay.
sell away.
Okay, good.
Worst case scenario goes to the selectmen's fund.
What else we have? Contracts. I think that's all I have, right? Oh, that was my price comparison for the dispensers and so forth in different places that we shopped. Let's see. Did you want to talk about this when?
Yeah, I guess that's the only thing on the airport today is Gary Moore came back in Cornhole Road, Cornhill Road. Correction. Cornhill Road,
Yeah.
We won't record it.
so I mean, listen, you know.
Instead of this right here, it's just arguing question. This guy's the house that's on the short. Yes, yeah. Yeah.
So he brought in Stevens anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've already seen all that. I think,
Town's attorney already has it on.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's gonna gate both sides. He claims it to be his lane, he's gained both sides, he's got an issue with the neighbor going out back too, and it was irrelevant, but what's happened is. The person that lives up on Cornhill Road, the actual off-grid people, they're losing access because they're plowing here, so they're not being able to gain access to their property.
Yeah, they were in here last week.
Yeah, so just he came and basically reiterated the same thing, and I changed his address for him. He didn't want it on Cornhill anymore. He wanted it off Santa Conway.
She's waiting on the town's attorney. She's got the deeds, the tax maps, the aerials,
I did tell him that Alvina had done a bunch of research last week. I didn't know where we had left off with that, but I
Town's
did tell
attorney.
him, yeah, she dug into it deep. So
everything's been turned into the town's attorney. Yep.
all right,
Oh,
that's all I had.
yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Nice entertainment.
Town clerk, Miss Dragon.
So I just have a couple of things. So for our car registrations, I've had 55 so far this month. And then 24 dog licenses were also issued this month. And I just wanted to remind everyone that the deadline for registering dogs is January 31st before the late fees go into effect. There's also a deadline to submit reports for the town report, and that's April 15th.
You know if the vet has got the tags in for a license?
You have to contact the vet, that has nothing to do with the town,
Mhm.
contact Brownfield Veterinary Hospital.
You know, I didn't know if she might have known that.
No, that is all to do with Brownfield Veterinary Hospital, they're the ones that come down and helped us host the clinic. And they have all the tags when they.
Yeah, we just, all the town did was basically gave the location. Right, and again, the town just hosted, let them use the building. The tags are, that's the vet, that's, we have no cognizance on that.
But you got your regular certificate, so you can still license. You don't need the tags to license.
That's not what they told me when I got the license. I know.
You need the tags?
The tags, I'm able to put it into the system without the,
Oh, the
Maybe
baby tag, new system, yes, I forgot about the new system.
that's what I was worried.
Yeah.
But
right,
it's actually working out. So that would just be something that you'd have to call the clinic about to get that.
Yeah, called, they should be in now, it's been a couple weeks, hasn't it? Should be in by now, they said it was gonna be a couple weeks.
Yeah,
That was-
about 2 weeks.
That was what, this Saturday,
Seven.
yeah, so we,
The third.
no, that was a Friday,
Woman
So
days.
the 4th.
Four, it was
Four.
four, excuse me, it was a four.
so we're a week and a half into it.
Yeah, it was like Monday, or Tuesday, they should know where they're at with them. I could give them a call, Brian. And find out where they're at.
Do me a favor, contact them and see if
Oh,
they have in fact come in, if they have,
I can post it
let-
on.
let them put it on the website.
Don't think they realize. That they need the numbers off the tags. When they gave,
I told them that, don't worry about it.
yeah, I don't think they realize that, so.
Right.
We'll get them up to speed. No problem.
but that covers everything.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right, well. It's been a while since they gave me a report, so this is the 26th of November. So we've had some barking dog complaints. We went out, me and Dickie did a decimal reading at one place. We found, me and Rick went out one night. Just the barking dog, they found a dog. I done a welfare check. And this year for the rabies clinic, we had 78 animals come through. Last year was 86. So my numbers are pretty good. with
Yeah,
rabies.
still good turnout.
That's turnout. And we're gonna find tags. You know, to contact the veterinary hospital to make sure that we get the tags. And stuff, and that's all I have.
Sweet. Chief.
Dust off was having it. Been there too. See, we got one vehicle fire supposedly, but it was a tractor trailer that blew a turbo. They smoke. One CO alarm, we did 5 car accidents, 3 mutual aid and 1 structure fire and 14 medical. Fire extinguishers will be inspected on the 27th. That at 8 o'clock, it's at the fire station, and I'll turn them over to that. We're starting a BLS training to renew our shape program, which will let me renewed in August. So we're gonna be working on that. And working on the budget, and I wanted to request if I could move my budget hearing, because the 10th is a meeting that I have in. Well, Paris is saying. We did change, what did you change it to? The 24th? Oh. Okay, I appreciate that, because I have a meeting on the 10th, meeting on the following Monday, training on the following Monday, then I can do it. Is that, it's all right with the budget? Yes.
That's the chair right there.
Change.
Appreciate it. Mine's gonna be fast anyway, it's going to photocopy, you know.
Yeah.
We'll be, this is one of the meetings I'm going to, we're hosting the fire convention again for Western Maine Private Fairgrounds in September. So I'm heavily involved into that. Getting it taken care of. I did install the tracks on the UTV, so that's ready for the winter. Built some brackets for the center axle to pull them up to give us more room. That's all ready for winter. There we go. Apologize for safety meeting, I missed it today. Ooh, over my head. So I apologize to the safety guy today. And Spectrum, Lynn, when you meet with Spectrum,
Mm-hmm,
would you let me know so I can sit on that when you,
sure.
I just want to hear what they have to say. Main Street is all set to be hooked up. And Big Street, I talked to the guy Sunday, he was at the house verifying addresses, so. They are hooking. He said Main Street, Big Street, ready at Big Blueberry Lane, anything on Main Street. He said, so like Shepherd River Road, up 113 and Big Rocket Hill to get by the end of the month. And so they're working hard. I question them how they're doing stuff.
I'm seeing trucks out at like 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, what they're doing, they're splicing. Every place they stop, they have to splice it. Cause there'd be 3, I went Freiburg last Saturday, and there was 3 trucks up on Hampshire Road.
Yeah.
And they were like, not even a mile apart. And so I asked him, what the heck they doing? He says, wherever they stop and then start, they have to splice it and put the loop. So
Oh,
that's what they're doing.
gotcha.
Yeah. And on that city, did you get your dog crate vaccine from your neighbor?
No, I did not.
Okay.
Not yet. Have you, we dropped it off your house?
Nope.
Okay.
Okay, visit.
It's your neighbor.
Oh. Dog still in that.
Oh, I went to the house and then I didn't see the dog, so.
I'll separate, thanks.
Thank you. Whit?
So we're still working on the RFP for the building, the new big building, just trying to get that out. And our next meeting is February 11th, it's gonna be part of the Selectmen meeting. And that's gonna be a public information meeting for anybody that's questions that hopefully we have some answers for. At this stage where we're at. And that's pretty much it.
Thank you. Health officer.
Where's the camel? Meeting just a few hours ago. Discussed a number of issues. We're really doing well, I think, as far as straightening out a lot of the manuals, whatever, that some cases were some years gone by. Also been in communication with a young lady, I believe her name is Wade, is it Kathleen Wade?
Yep,
Yeah.
Wade.
She's one of the attorneys. She will be the attorney, I guess, representing that. Is just coming over to meet with the board the beginning of February 4th, I believe it is.
Yes.
So I'm not sure if she would be willing to do the same type of session that Leah did some years ago. And she has agreed. So at 2:00, there's 30 to 40 minutes that she's asked for to do a class on sexual harassment in the workplace. And she is cognizant of the fact that she's meeting with you guys, I think about 3:30.
Yes.
So she said that's plenty enough time for her. So we're gonna have the session here. And I'm expecting a pretty good turnout, I would hope. I think that's about it right now.
Okay, the sexual harassment training is mandatory for all town employees. They will be present that day.
How many do you with us? 25, according to that thing on the wall over there. I was wondering, maybe Denmark had some guys, private or something. Well, in the past, I have asked both Freiburg and Denmark if they would be interested in having anybody involved for the training. And so far, no one has shown up. I will ask again.
No. So, that's at 2:00, right? Yeah, okay. What's that? Yeah.
Yes.
Just to let you know that I do that at a fire station, sexual harassment. If I'm not here, I do it there. If you can. So just to be aware.
So you do it for all your firefighters?
Yes, I have to do it for them and I take it there and I have to take it at Rocket Rescue also.
Well, I can see why with Freiburg Rescue. Just saying.
I learned how to do it twice. Yeah, what day is that? You guys, February 4th, it's Tuesday. If I'm available, I'll make something on it. I'm trying to get here. Goodbye.
2:00.
I'm gonna have time, that's
Thanks for letting us know. Serious. Public Works.
Before I forget, when is, if you're gonna, advertise those shelves,
Yes. So,
Public Works is gonna brand new snowboard down there, be sold to.
No. We were looking for that for the fire station, but I kept. Everybody kept.
No, selling that.
Yeah, that was it's been 2 years I've asked for that. The same Gary from shoveling in front of the building,
Yeah.
so because I asked when Dick was on, he said, take the damn thing. I said, well, I went down, and talked about transfer station, they wanted it. They talked to Cliff, they didn't want it, so I got stuck in the middle of that one.
So you got a new snow blower that nobody uses.
Lucky us.
Yeah.
It was bought for the transfer station, but it got used once and never get used again, so they ended up. Of course, building it. I can't ask Vicky, but I don't know if I don't know if you're serious.
Oh, yeah, I say Gary from shoveling.
Please. Please deliver it to fire department.
Yeah. No, I don't either. I appreciate it. Thank you, Rick. Thank you, Rick.
I had Glenn Roby from Big R Bridge. He works with Contact Engineer Solutions. He's gonna give us 3 configurations of the bridge on Misty Lane. Different application for whatever. And he didn't know that there might be some grants out there for it. I don't know who to ask for a grant. Do you know the state of Maine?
I don't know. Go Egan. Find out. Yeah, oh, good. I'll ask about the grants.
Okay. Um. Rick Center paving, talked to Charlie, first or the second week of April, depending on the weather.
Perfect.
Replace brakes on the 4x4 International and Western Star. 2 wheel seals on the 4x4. The vehicle was. 1 broken wing on, yeah, one of the arms with it, that's fixed, but he fixed that pretty quick. Timberland overhead door. Give me a price for the door for the salt shed. It's a 20 by 20 door, so 11,120. That's installed. He he called me 3 times, got 3 different
That's an insurance.
numbers and
I
that's the lowest he come up with.
Hey, the door for that's an insurance thing, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Did you say that insurance companies like, yeah, you need to? We shouldn't let anybody in there. That's why we need to close it off.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. It's a liability.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
You're talking about people going in and getting like buckets of sand,
No, it's salt.
this is all.
We got the money.
It can go in the budget. We need the door right now.
Price is just gonna keep going up though.
Yeah.
And that seems to be a problem.
Okay.
I'm just worried where the Fed said they're looking at 15 to 17.5% across the board in the first quarter of this year in inflation. So 10% or 11,000. That's, now we're talking 13,000. Think Trump's gonna do something about that? I doubt it. We're way too far in debt.
Sure.
I'll let you know when we do.
That's all I have. Oh, the door to rec center. We went down there and adjusted that to do its 5-second deal.
Yep.
And the way it is, it's a whole door. And when it closes, it kind of doesn't latch a whole bunch. So it's a little bit faster than it should be. And it's like up the bar, but it's close.
How much is it to replace that?
Well, if the door, I don't know if the alarm came with the door or if that was installed. So the door might not.
No, it was installed. The alarm was installed.
I don't know what those push doors are.
The door that you guys took off the front door, you can't put that on the.
Nope, door over there is a lot bigger.
It's a metal door, it's rusted on the bottom, it's kind of.
Yeah.
Just tweaked a little bit. And put some beneficial screw in it, today, gotta get it straightened out. You get it, so when it closed, to say it's. Bad faster.
So it's time for a replacement.
You go in and come out, it doesn't latch, then it's free for all.
Yeah.
It closed.
Yeah. Okay. Next on the agenda is Terry Egan. She is currently sick. There's a Friends of the Mountain Division Trail has an announcement to make. So I will not take her thunder from her. So we'll schedule that when she's available. Open sealed bids for electronic signs. What do we got?
Cool.
Okay, grab one.
Oh, that's good.
Did you say for the electric?
Yeah, I'll get one.
Is that not something you'll vote on as a town?
We already did,
You guys voted on it.
correct.
Final answer.
Finally, well, I haven't opened the bid yet. The monies utilized for this were out of the capital improvement for building and grounds.
Just to make sure I understand what she's asking, did we vote at town meeting?
No, there's never been an article on this, no. There has not been.
Some saying there's gonna be an electric sign.
If there's going to be an electronic sign,
Choose if they want an electric sign.
we can take it to the town.
Yeah,
Good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well,
so like,
I don't need to bid.
so like the brick Conya,
Well, we can,
We can what? We had a motion seconded and voted to expend up to X amount of dollars. Correct?
Mhm.
So now we have the bids. So now the question is raised, they want to know if the taxpayers are going to have the opportunity. I have no problems giving the taxpayers that. It'd be an article in the June meeting, so we don't need to open bids.
Okay.
you wanna put that
So what's
on
the
the
purpose of it?
you gotta have some figure to give them, right?
Right.
In order to, they gotta be.
But we're opening the bids 6 months prior to a town meeting. Right, those numbers are gonna change exponentially. And availability, and then when that contractor would have the opportunity, you know what I mean, to
Mhm.
show up. So if that's the case, then we'll just do an article, put it in the warrant. They can say yay or nay, and at that point, if it's voted affirmative that the taxpayers want the sign, okay, then we go through the process and put the sign up the following year springtime. Because we're not gonna have enough time prior to winter to do the same thing. And then if it's not, we're just out of time. We're just out of time.
Yeah.
Right, so we'll just do that.
Can we look to see who's the lowest bidder and then,
What for?
well, then, if we decide that to go with them, then when we decide to put the article in. We can put that one in.
We're
It's
six-
gonna change
We're
it.
6
Oh, I know,
months
6
away.
months. Is it possible? to
As
put
a
in this-
contracting,
Yeah,
I look at somebody that comes to me 7 months after the fact that I submitted a bid and said, hey, you know what? I'd really like you to do the job for the price you quoted me. I'm gonna laugh at you and say, well, the price of material's gone up 30%. And I'm booked out for the next 18 months, so what do you want me to do? I don't see any reason to
Now,
to
another
take the
thing you gotta
bids.
think about is if it goes to town meeting, they might wanna make some changes.
But that's just it. We
Then-
take it to them.
Then these things don't mean anything.
Yeah, they're, at this point, if we're not going to open these and make a decision. For the bid. We're 6 months out from a town vote. So even the town vote happens. Yes, we can't do anything till July 1. Then we have to expend the time to reach out to the companies to do it. Hang on, I'll get to you in a second. Reach out to them, so you're looking at a couple of months. For bids to come in. And again, we open them up and we take the lowest guy, okay? Winter time's already here. Front's in the ground, they're already talking about the base that needs to be put in order to take the weight and. Set it back from the road from where the current board is right now, so that we have snow removal, you know, so that it's not up against it, because it is pretty close to the ground.
That's right, so when they try to pull out, you can't see nothing.
Right, so we're gonna have to wait until after winter time if the town, you know, approves and we do that. So we're, at this point, we're a year up. Year and change. So price wise, it could change exponentially.
Oh, no, but is it okay to look at the three of them now, just to get an idea of,
Oh, you can look at all.
yeah, just to get an idea what
We're
the
gonna
range,
open up. look at
yeah,
all-
just see what the range is between the three
I'll
bidders.
tell you one
As a
thing, you wanna be
reference.
real careful when you put something out to bid and you re-put it out to bid.
Oh, yeah, I realize it'll change,
Yeah, no, not so much.
I'm just trying- I'm just curious how-
Bidding, it's not fair, you know what I mean? They say, oh, you look at these bids, now you send it back out and.
Right.
Everybody knows what my bid is, it's supposed to be zero. We ran into this once before.
okay.
Oh, we did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
can get nasty.
Yep.
I don't look at it.
So Chad, yours is up first.
It was in one of these meetings that you guys the sign was brought up, and you guys put a committee together.
Mhm.
We're on the committee.
Mhm.
We went and did what everybody voted on, and got these. So now we're gonna take it, and we're gonna explain what was voted on, and now we're gonna take it to the town. Even though the money is already raised and appropriated, you're taking it out of an improvement fund, we're not asking the town to raise any more money. So the bids are null up, no good at all. So why open them if we're gonna you're gonna redo what you guys already voted on?
Yeah. Hence why I said there's no sense in opening the bids. Yep.
Well, Cliff just thinks it's coming now, after all the work we put into it,
I don't know.
did he?
It,
I
I
brought
don't,
no, I'm sure Vinny is too.
I'm not behind it.
Hold on. Wait a minute.
I didn't ask you.
You can't control.
hey, okay, what? Stop. Everybody stop right now. Miss Tate, please, just for a moment. Okay? The meeting will be maintained in order. There will be no yelling. There will be no pointing. Okay? This needs to remain civil
Yeah.
and appropriate. So please, everybody adhere to that. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I was, yeah.
You couldn't speak up.
I was just there to get information for my own self. I didn't put this on the agenda tonight.
No, I don't know about the agenda.
Well, I mean, I didn't bring this up. I didn't bring this up from, yeah.
You never brought up. You wanted this to go to the town? You never said anything.
It's because I had no intention of doing that at the time. I went to the meeting to see what type of signs were being studied. I asked Whit afterwards, are they doing a study, just for the type of sign we have now, rather than a digital one? But that's all I went for, was just to get information on what the signs were.
But I can tell you. Tell you.
Yeah, well, that's their choice, I mean,
I understand that.
yeah.
If that's the case, then those people can go out and put up the letters on the sign. Have you done that before?
Yeah, when I was on the budget committee.
Who did it at the church?
Yeah.
My sign.
Well, I mean, it's, some people like it, some people don't. It goes to town meeting and then the decision's made. I mean, and I think everybody appreciates what the sign committee did. Myself, I appreciate what every committee does. Because, I'm on a committee. She's on a committee, Mrs. Blake is on a committee, she goes to budget committees. I appreciate the time everybody puts in committees, including myself, including the selectmen. I mean, so I don't have the animosity or an agenda. I have an opinion. I don't have, I'm not trying to discourage people from doing things. I just have an opinion on what my feelings are on things, as I'm sure everybody does. We're not trying to, oppose individuals.
I respect that.
Well, that's all it is. Yeah.
What better way of informing people when they're driving by to see, oh, there's a budget meeting, there's a this meeting, there's a that meeting. Or the office is not open on this day because of whatever. That's what that sign is gonna be used for, I hope, right?
Well, that's what it should.
I don't see anything out there. Sours.
And it's been like that for what, 2-3 weeks? Nothing's changed. And it's not blown away. I mean, yeah, well, but so far what we have is my opinion, okay? I'm not trying to change anybody's mind. My opinion is that sign is traditional as you can go from here all the way to Portland. All the town offices has the same type of sign. There's no digital signs. The church has the same sign. The rec department has the same type of sign. I mean, to me, it's traditional, and only that it's effective. I think it's effective. I don't think anybody who wants to come to a meeting will miss the meeting because of that sign. I mean,
Say it's.
yeah,
Select board did appoint a committee.
yeah,
And I mean, you talk about volunteer hours.
and I appreciate it. Yeah, I think everybody does.
It's concerned by going to the town to do an article or whatever it was you said. It's like, why even have this committee?
Because the committee has,
It's already capital improvement.
but the committee did their job, and it's a great job. You determine what it costs for a digital sign. It goes to the town. Does the town want to spend the money for it? I mean,
The price is gonna change, man.
yeah, I know, but we've had a meeting with the assessors. People showed up. People are upset with their taxes. They're assessed with, and the only thing, two things affect the taxes: inflation and spending. That's all. Now, we can't do anything about inflation. The only thing we can do anything about in the town is how we spend our money and how much. Now, we've spent it on computer programs, we spent it on, what is it, yeah, we spent it on, matching bonds. We're gonna match some bonds for the repairs on the rec center, or 25,000.
No,
We've
no.
There's two
No,
bonds, right?
No, you need to have your information correct before throwing that information out there.
Uh-huh,
Okay?
yeah,
Now, we just had a discussion yesterday,
yeah,
right at the counter. You were there. What I said
Yeah.
was there are two grants that are available,
yeah,
that are being looked at by the Comp Plan Implementation Committee. One of them is a $75,000 no buy-in grant.
mhm,
There's no buy-in to the taxpayers. Now, there was an article that was placed in the warrant that was voted affirmative, that the town cannot seek any grants that have a buy-in without taxpayer approval. So one of the maybe articles that we may have is called an enterprise grant for up to $100,000 with a $25,000 buy-in. That article would request the $25,000 to be utilized out of reserve in the referendum ballot. So there are no bonds. People, we are not asking for bonds. We're not going to the bond bank. I guarantee you that. There has been no discussion, motion, or anything to do with any bonds of any type. Okay? The grants, one of them is no buy-in. The people came here into a selectmen's meeting and they did a CEBE. They did a presentation. We signed a letter of intent with them because it's a $75,000 grant with zero buy-in. There's nothing. It's free money for the town to improve town buildings. They did that brief. The second one is an enterprise grant, another organization. Yes, there is a $25,000 buy-in on a $100,000 grant. We don't have any of the numbers yet whatsoever. The Comp Plan Implementation Committee is currently working to put this letter of intent together to give it to something Holden, lady's name, to have her review it, to say, oh yeah, this looks good. This is about what there would be money for that you would probably get. That there, middle of March, end of March, or middle of February, March timeframe, we have the number. So we can go, if they say $100,000, we have a $25,000 buy-in that can be on the ballot for the taxpayers to decide. That's exactly what we talked about, along with the other referendum questions that I said that the Board of Selectmen needed to talk about in that entire discussion was the historical Article 6 and 7 and the 950 that we have to be put into escrow for the new public safety building. that was our entire discussion. Right here in the hallway.
Right, I mislabeled it saying bond. I shouldn't have said bond.
Yeah, please
Yeah,
don't.
yeah, I didn't mean to say, but I mean, that's money that might have to be raised. I mean, we raised money for the ADA assessments, the money for the ADA.
Okay, I'd like to address that.
I mean, we're spending money.
We did not raise money for the ADA assessment. Okay?
There's money spent.
And I'll put this out to everybody. That claim right there that you're saying that we're blowing money on this ADA. Well, guess what, folks? That is a mandatory requirement that we have to have statutorily. And guess what? We had a legal issue with the ADA. So it was a requirement, whether the taxpayers like it or not. We either get into ADA compliance and spend a little bit of money, or we take our asses to court and let a judge fine us hundreds of thousands of dollars. So there is the expenditures for the ADA is a legal requirement. We have to do it. I don't have a choice.
Well, all I'm listening is some of the necessities we've had to spend. I agree with you. We had to spend the money. These are just monies that had to be spent. And now, I mean, there are quite a few. They add up. And the sign is not a necessity at this point. We're in a year where we're spending money for ADA because we have to, money where we have to repair the rec center. We have to, there's different things that have to be repaired there.
At a meeting, I sat with the people on the committee for the sign. And I think I asked Rick, I think both Frank and you were there. Where are we getting the money?
Well, there was only one meeting, but that's okay, go ahead.
I asked, where are we? It was told to me it would be out of the. Is that fund again?
Capital improvement.
Capital
It was,
improvement.
that was actually done. That was actually done in a selectmen's.
But if we had the money in that, we have lots of money,
We had enough.
so.
But we're keep spending money. That's money that's in the bank. I mean, it's up. I mean, we've had people at the assessors meeting who are seriously concerned about the taxes. I mean, and we've got people that are coming up. There's going to be what on their houses in Upham. There's liens on them. There's possible foreclosures. I mean, and so to me, I want to be a little more conservative, believe it or not, on spending. Yeah, and I think it's up to the people who go to the assessors meetings and are worried about their taxes. At the public meeting, town meeting last year, they stood up and, concerned. So my feeling is they should vote on some of these things that aren't necessities. The sign has been there for how many years and it's worked. It's not perfect, maybe. But, and I'm not saying we shouldn't replace it at some time. I'm just saying during the time I've been on the board, there's been a lot of expenditures that have been necessary, whether they're computer programs, whether they're the ADA compliances, the ball field, we had to spend money on that because, so I'm just saying there's a lot of money being spent. And to me, I think the sign personally, it can wait. And I appreciate all the work that's been done on it, like any committee does. I mean, people volunteer for the comprehensive plan for short-term rentals, and it didn't get voted on the first time it was presented at the town meeting. I mean, people can't volunteer and expect that, I mean, they should, but sure.
Station should have, they really should.
Well, that's.
I can't see why. Since I got involved in the beginning. When they- Why is this coming up now? I don't know, but we have to get our act together.
Well,
Present it to the people.
we could look and see what one of the bids are and see how much it is. If people are interested. Huh? Well, it'll give you an idea of how much. I'm not saying they weren't. What was the minimum bid, that the committee, I mean, they were throwing out, when I was there, numbers 14,000, 15,000 for a sign. Is that what committee?
That's not what I got.
That's not what we talked about.
No, I mean, but you had big signs, I mean, you reduced it and everything else. And, yeah, but
So, yeah, specific measurements, but as far as prices of signs, we were looking at $25,000 to $35,000
for a sign,
for a sign. But my question is, and I can be totally out of line, and somebody will put me in my place. But we raise and appropriate money for certain funds every year, right? So we have a capital improvement fund that's supposed to be helped to improve either the building here, the rec center, the sign, whatever. If we don't spend it, and we just keep adding to it, where does the money go?
It
Why
stays
are
there.
we raising and appropriating if we can't spend the money that we've already got?
The capital improvement accounts are rollover accounts. They just build over time. That's how they're set up.
Okay.
I'm sorry? Will what offset that?
The rollovers.
The capital improvement accounts?
Go back to.
No, it stays in that line. That's a rollover. So, all right, just as an example, we raise and appropriate $30,000 and equally divided amongst the three capital improvement accounts, okay? 10,000, 10,000, 10,000. Nothing is expended out of those accounts for one calendar year. Next town meeting, we raise and appropriate another $30,000, 10, 10, and 10. Now we have $20,000 per account. And
So how much do we have in there now?
That's not
wouldn't be.
no, that's expensive.
I can't quote an exact figure, but I know it's over 100,000.
Yes, and go.
Oh, he was back,
He was back there first.
I understand it.
Dan,
You're worried about. We don't have the money in it now. Problem is do you get a good price on it now? Next year, 2 years down the road, 3 years down the road, it's gonna be triple.
And the answer contract.
Right, labor going up, you wanna have every labor bill going up through the roof.
Terry?
Does that have to be rolled over every year? Do you have to put money into it every year?
No.
Don't have to.
No, the taxpayers can vote not to.
Is there a limited, recommended number that you carry? Like you throw up $10,000 for each.
If you historically look at the warrants, every year the same warrant articles in there, numbered differently, obviously, for $30,000. Now, previously, that article, somebody in this room was actually very good about standing up and amending it to be divided equally. Yes, and then the verbiage was changed to be divided equally amongst the.
You know, I know that a lot of people have done this, done a lot of work on doing on your committee for that sign. When you brought that up at that meeting, and you said, geez, how many people here would like to see a sign, a digital sign? Nobody then had an idea how much that sign may cost. So you formed your committee. And then all of a sudden, then you start hearing about how much it's gonna cost, just roofs. Before you even have a sign, you're already talking about putting a base in there. And what Gene was saying is that, nobody knew how much this was gonna cost. Now all of a sudden, the price is just, what would you say?
Between $25,000 and $35,000.
And that's just to put the sign up and, have it, digitalized, or whatever that word is. And then you gotta maintain it every year.
And it's electric, again, it's gonna be.
So, I mean, I think that's where Gene's coming from.
Oh, no.
And Penny doesn't have a thing to say about that, but.
Jeez. It was at our meeting. And, I asked the question about where's the money come from?
I can understand it. That's what they're saying is, maybe it's too much money. Maybe it's too much.
Could I ask a question of that? Could I ask a question of that? Yeah, of everybody. We didn't open the bids. So how does anybody in this room know how much it costs? Other than secondhand, the gossip.
We,
So-
no, it's not gossip.
No, hang on.
We had a meeting.
We didn't open the bids. So nobody in this room knows how much that sign would cost.
We got
And-
general information.
And the thing is,
He said he hasn't opened the bid. We're quoting for price, they may have got a better price, or they may have got a higher price. But nobody's gonna know.
well, that's just it. Nobody knew. And the bids that are here, had they been opened, the board would have voted yay or nay. Like, holy shit, that's a lot of money. Yeah, let's put this off.
We was asked to contact Sacramento Valley High School there. And I contacted the maintenance person
Mhm.
that had that where
Yep.
school.
Yeah, the company, then you reached out to the company.
Yes,
Yep.
and to them, they had this done 10 years ago,
Mhm.
and he told me his price. He goes, "We'll expect that to be double." I'm like, and I came and basically said at that point, I thought that where are we getting money for this?
But part of the other reason for my mentality on this is the state has come out this week. There's gonna be and the state means all of us, not just the state in Augusta, okay? There's gonna be a $450 million deficit for the next 2 years and another 118 million shortfall in Maine care. All right, that's gonna affect everybody. The other thing is, all the fires going on is gonna affect everybody's insurance, home insurance. We're also got new and used vehicles out of sight. I mean, so there's a lot of things that are impacting people. CMP is gonna increase their rates. They've gone private now, and they've already told people they're gonna increase their rates because they're gonna put new structure and infrastructure in. There's gonna be tariff charges, 15 on everything that's important, 15 to 25%. And building and construction costs, like everybody says, are going out of sight. So at some point, we're gonna make a sacrifice. So sacrificing for the future, I'm not saying we should never have a new sign, but maybe it's time, we gotta sit down and individually as ourselves and as a town, and maybe spend less money on, for ourselves, recreation, entertainment, and things that are niceties, and try to focus on what are necessities. And William, I appreciate what everybody does when they're going out in the winter and anytime at night, you have to do a committee. And that's not a necessity right now, I don't think. As far as, we've got other things that are probably gonna come up, that have to be repaired right away. We had that with the ADA that come up out of the blue in a way.
Yeah, it wasn't out of the blue, man. That was drug off 2 freaking years.
Well, whatever it was, but we could come up for this year, but anyway, that's me. I'll let everybody else.
I got hands going up everywhere. In the back.
Yeah.
Mira,
Yep.
I suggest where everyone go to a vote now. If you selectmen, look at the bids. Give a general idea, send an apology letter out to them saying town decided they need to go out for bid. Shred those documents. Get out bid and then ask for a rebid later on from those companies.
Okay.
I just want to add, first of all, I want to say that I believe wholeheartedly that this town has waited a long time for a digital sign. And that it definitely, I've been one of the ones that have tried to put signs out there. I know what it's like in the winter. I know what it's like in the rainy days and all of it. People complain because you don't use both sides of the sign, and I think that is a big waste. I asked last year about moving the sign the year before. Moving the sign so it's just one-sided. Even then, it,
Yeah,
couldn't seem to get.
Yeah, they complained.
Couldn't seem to get moved.
Yeah.
So, okay, now, if we're going to stick with the sign that we have, I'm asking you 3 selectmen, and I think in fairness to the the people that are going to be working using the sign that we have currently, that it be fixed correctly. You can fight your way to hell trying to put those letters in there right now. One side, I won't speak on because they tried to fix the sign. The background of it is great, but the slider things that it goes on is not right. They bought the wrong size track and they're not spaced enough so that you can actually do it at all with any kind of ease. It's a fight. So if we're not gonna get a new sign anytime soon, I do ask you guys to authorize the public works to fix the sign and to fix it right so that it can be used. Thank you.
Brian?
I understand where Vinnie's coming from, retired people have a hard time with things that are going on. But on the other hand, I also think that it's kind of bad that you guys send out bids and all of a sudden you just stop with the bid and, the town's gonna get a bad name, keep doing that type of business.
So how would you like it to be handled when taxpayers come to you and say, hey, we think that the taxpayers should make the decision and vote on that? So do you just look them in the face and say, well, I don't really care what you got to say because your opinion don't count. I'm going to keep going with it. So what's the, I understand that. And the comment is essentially a complaint. So give me a fix to it.
Well, why was it voted on in the first place? To accept it and stuff.
That was what voted on. We did it in a public selectmen's meeting. This has been going on for months. We've had many updates on it. And not one time did anybody come in any of those selectmen's meetings when the briefs were on there, and yes, they were on the agenda, and said a word. Nothing. There are hundreds of people that watch the videos. I've not had anybody contact me on the contrary whatsoever saying what was transpired here tonight.
But what I'm saying is, like, with your contracts, these people you send the bid out to,
Right.
if you don't do the honoring of them, is that gonna be kind of hard in the future, maybe to get other people to bid? That's my thing.
Okay, so give me the fix to your question. Give me the fix.
It's been approved. People to do that, but then again, someone else says it needs to go for the people.
Okay, so give me the fix.
Don't know.
Exactly. And that's the hardest part about sitting at this table every week as a selectman. It is damn near impossible. This is the I've got 8.5 years on the board now. Okay. In 8 years consistent, year off and back for a 3-year term. And I can remember many times having a conversation with folks. If you can keep 50% of the people happy, man, you're doing an awesome job. And it's exactly that. So if people come to us and say, well, I disagree with this. I think it needs to be done that way. And then add on to that, well, if we do it that way, there's going to be a problem on the backside. Provide me the fix, because I'm in that same problem. Don't forget, folks, I'm a taxpayer too. I pay taxes just like everybody does here. So there's no difference in us. The difference is we have to try to keep everybody happy. Try to do the best, make the best decisions that we think is humanly possible to make everyone happy. And it's folks, unless you've been in this position, you have absolutely no idea how much time goes into this. Absolutely no inkling of the time that goes into this. And it's difficult. It really is difficult. But if you want to bring a problem to the board, have a solution to it. Have some sort of solution, because that solution spurns discussion, which can really lead into really good things for the town. And I hope everybody does that. I really, really do. You know. So what do we do? What do we do?
Well, a perfect example is what's going on right here tonight. We got some people that wanna go ahead with it, some that don't.
Mhm.
We gotta come to a conclusion here, what we're gonna do.
Yep. And I do want to say this. This is really bothering me. And if this comes out wrong, I'll apologize now professionally. Okay. But what really, really bothers me is we've had several meetings. All of those committee meetings were public. It was discussed in more than a few selectmen's meetings. And nothing was said. Crickets from both sides of the table. Both sides. Crickets. And now, as Mr. Merrill pointed out, we're at the point where we need to answer to some contractors because we put it out to bid. And now all of a sudden, well, you know what? Hang on. And it puts us in a bad spot. It really puts us into a tight spot. Nobody will ever convince me that they did not have the opportunity to speak, ask questions, or be involved. Because every single selectmen's meeting that I have conducted since July 2nd of the last year, I am very adamant. I asked multiple times the audience, the table, the audience, the table. Are you guys sure you don't have anything? Please bring it to us. I've said it many times. Bring it to us. If you don't feel comfortable doing it in a public setting, phone. Everybody in town knows where I am. If I'm either at a parts store or I'm at the shop. Pretty much. Pretty much everybody knows who I am. If not, they got to know these two people. If not, the counter. They got to pay taxes. They got to register their car. They have to come to this building for something. Soon with the new website, they won't have to. They'll actually be able to do everything online and actually cut down the volume of people coming in, which kind of sucks because it's a good interaction. You get to know the people, get to know the taxpayers. But it really, really kind of chaps my ass that this has gone on for 4 months and nothing. Nobody had a word to say on either side of this table until tonight when we're getting ready to open bids. And that should not happen. There's problems, there's questions, there's opinions, and it needs to be brought up.
And you're missing the most important social media page, Facebook. You want to see the comments on Facebook.
Yeah.
So those people that are commenting on Facebook need to get here or to a town meeting and speak their piece. They don't.
I try to stay away. Facebook.
Chad had his hand.
You know how a president goes in and they look younger than the 4 years after they get out? They look really old at the end of those 4 years. Yeah, that's what I think Facebook does to me.
Chad's had his hand.
It ages me.
And Chad's had his hand up for a while.
Yeah. Is there isn't a planning board meeting? Okay. Oh, workshop. Oh, okay. You guys are starting the office. We're good. Okay.
Okay,
So, Chad.
it's more,
And then what?
it's more a statement than this question. Can the board will correct me if I'm. But the sign was brought up at the selectmen's meeting, if I remember right, by the ladies that are working in the office. They got together and brought it to the board that it would be nice to have electronic signs, so they're not going out in the weather. Or if they need to make an immediate change, they can put it on the computer board and then boom, it's up on the thing.
Yes,
So when the ladies brought it to the board voted on it, saying, okay, we'll check into that, that's a hell of an idea. And then we formed the committee to get the prices and stuff. And then we put it out to bid, because we had to get the price to get bids. So if it's the ladies who brought it, isn't it the ladies that should be making the decision for the office whether or not they need a sign or not? Instead of taking it from the public, because the money's coming out of money that was already raised. It's sitting in an account for capital improvement. A sign improves this building. Am I wrong or am I right? Or right or am I wrong?
only one point that the ladies of the office,
Yeah,
they did do the request, however, it's the board's function to,
makes the final decision.
to make a motion, second it, carry it, vote to expend the funds,
Which,
not the ladies.
okay, but
They just
technically,
request.
the board did talk, agreed, and voted on to spend the money if the prices were reasonable after we found them. Which we will not know because now it's been brought, we want to take it to town. So opening those bids is still non and void, it doesn't help nothing.
Well, this is what I'd like to do. With the permission of my colleagues. I'd like to table this till next week, to
Okay,
be on next week's meeting. And in the meantime, I would like a workshop with the select board. All workshops are open to the public,
okay.
so I will put it out there. If my colleagues agree, we have a time and a day that we can meet here. It will be publicized as legally required. And I will just put this out for the public. If my colleagues agree and we have a workshop and discuss this topic, there will be zero public involvement.
Can I make one other suggestion? Where you're gonna have the workshop to discuss this, you're tabling this article till next select board meeting. And you put it out there that if anybody that's listening has a problem with the sign.
No, I will not.
To give you guys
I
notification
will
now. No, you will not. Okay,
Every taxpayer in this town
yeah,
has the right. And I hope that they understand that we gladly accept them coming to the board. Any of us. We put our name on a ballot. We agreed to take this position and interact with all of the fellow taxpayers. So every taxpayer has the right to come up to me, contact me, email me, text me, call me. They can do that. That's why I'm here. Well, I'll speak for myself on that. I won't put it out there for those two. They're men, they can speak for themselves. So all taxpayers can always approach me. That's why I'm here. That's the purpose of this. Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to apologize for throwing the wrench in the spokes. I was here for the vote.
Miss Blake. Miss Blake, please don't apologize. Please don't apologize. You know, you're a taxpayer. You're bringing up a point that you believe in. Okay. There's no apologies needed for that. It's no different than anybody. If you're convicted in your belief, in your opinion, you have every right to bring it forward. So please don't apologize.
And the committee, a committee usually is a group of people that believe in moving forward with the idea. It's not a committee of the people that don't want it. It's a committee of the people that do want it. And so of course they're gonna all agree that, what the heck, what are you saying no for? Because we decided it was a good idea, but
okay.
I've been sick and I haven't been in meetings and I did not realize you guys worked so fast. I don't think it's been 4 months.
Well, one of the things I want to point out is this board isn't kicking anything down the road. We're dealing with things as they come up. And there's no reason, you know. Topics were brought up and it took years for them to finally start coming to fruition to have a committee form. No, those days are over. Because by the time of committee forms, we're already way behind the curveball, and you know, 95% of it is volunteer, and that's a waste of their time. And they're passionate people. Otherwise, they wouldn't volunteer.
So I just want to make.
Well, it can be if we're too late. And that's the problem. If we're too late on something and all that time is put into it, it's a put to an end. To me, that is a waste of time because we're not getting what we set out to do. And that can be extremely frustrating for a lot of people.
I just want to make 2 points. Brian, you mentioned about, you know, the bids come in and then we don't go back to the people who submitted the bids. So there's sort of a negative effect towards us. But that's their business. They always get rejected. I mean, sooner or later, they get bids that don't get accepted. So they're used to being not told they're the winner, you know. So, and the other thing is, mostly I didn't speak up before about the sign at the meetings because we didn't have any numbers for money. You know, I mean, to me, voting on something requires knowing what the costs are and what the money is. So tonight we had an opportunity to look at the money. Chad gave us an opportunity. I went to the meeting for the sign committee to get an idea what it was going to cost. So I never voted yes or no or brought it up before because there was no definitive numbers or what they might be. So for me, I can't vote on something unless I know what it's going to cost. I mean, and this, I would think the taxpayers expect that, you know, we don't vote blindly or in that manner. So I mean, that's where I'm coming from. I'd like to see numbers when we vote, and then you know.
What I'd like to ask you, Vinny, is you had a copy of this agenda for over a week.
Yeah.
And there's been zero discussion. If you have questions, ask. Dude, we all got to work together here. You know, the 3 of us need to work together.
Yeah, but so the bids are coming out tonight.
Vinny, if you had questions about it, ask.
Well,
you know, bring up the concerns. Don't wait until we're at the last freaking hour of doing something. And then, oh, by the way, now I got 30 questions. We all work together. We're all informed exactly the same time.
We weren't informed in the bids, not on the money. Not on the, and I come to here.
And it's a recorded vote.
Did they have a number for the money?
To come up with the bid. You voted on going up with a bid.
Right.
At that you had, because neither did we.
Right.
We didn't either.
But now we have
You have a question
right
at the 11th hour. Why didn't you bring it to ask us, man? We're here to work together.
Because I'm learning. I'm
learning nothing.
No, this is fine.
Good. I'll apologize to all you right now. I get a little worked up. You know, it's
shake your enthusiasm. It's your enthusiasm.
We're done with it. This is it.
Let's get done.
Oh, we're just fine.
No, we don't have sign your life away, pal.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Can I read it?
How do we sneak stuff in there if you have to read it first? Okay, we have no correspondence folder, so we're good there. And I don't think we really had any correspondence was coming in actually. I remember. The proposed change to the dog ordinance, which would be the animal control ordinance, legal reviewed rough draft is available. Could you put that on the website? There will be a schedule for, hang on, Brian. There will be a schedule put out for the informational meeting and the public hearing. Now, there may be more than one informational meeting. So, but there will be informational meetings, so everybody has the opportunity to review the document, ask their questions, and then we'll have a public hearing, which is a statutory requirement. before it can go to vote. This is from, Alex Prindle from Drummond Woodsum. Leah Rachin, the town's attorney, reviewed as well. If you look, you'll see, like side boxes in the margin. That this is the legal review draft document. So no, that is not the actual document that will go to vote. We want to have the informational meetings first and the public hearing for any changes that, people put in for, additions, subtractions, whatever it may be. Please keep in mind that when we do this, any additions or subtractions from that document, it still has to go back for legal review prior to the public hearing, which is the final document before it goes to vote. So there will be another legal review done to that document. In the past, the municipal fire department ordinance, we have that back. However, it is not for public consumption yet. The town's attorney would like to have a discussion in executive session with the select board prior to this being disseminated for public consumption. So, but we do have a reviewed, maybe changed legal document. So we're working on that. I need to set it up with the town's attorney so we can set up the executive session. We do have an executive session on February 4th at 3:30. That's the select board and Kathleen Wade from Drummond Woodsum, and it's the update for the personnel policy. There's been some changes, things that have changed. So we'll be discussing that. That is a policy that does not go to town vote. That is select board voted on. But the changes that we make, it will be a public vote in the following meeting or meetings later. So that's happening February 4th. What else? There's something else.
Discussion on no fees.
No, we ain't getting that thing. I got that shit.
Correspondence file.
We don't have it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Motion to adjourn.
No, hang on.
No,
That long yet.
I know, I'm only kidding, I'm reading them off.
Yes.
Town meeting.
Yep.
Prior to town meeting. I think, was it April 15th, you said?
Yes.
You would get something in, if we want it. In the report.
Yes.
Okay, so. Is there an informational meeting?
Could I ask what you're talking about?
So, for the town report book, they all need to have their reports in by April 15th.
The letters,
Oh, okay, way to go. I was like, wait a minute, folks. We're gonna have the articles done for then, because April 15th is a cutoff.
I know. So with that being said, and we have town meeting in June,
Yes.
is there an informational meeting prior to town meeting for
For what?
people to review or to look at the town warrant, the
Okay.
report?
Historically, first week of April, we've tried to wrap things up. By the second week of April, we're sending everything off to go to print, so that we have them back and they're available first week of May. People can get them. It'll be online. They can do their review. There's no requirement for us to have an informational meeting on the warrant.
So we go to town meeting and we're there for 5 hours because people are gonna look at this and I'm gonna be so happy because we have numbers.
Why are you saying 5 hours? Where's your optimism?
There are people. Been to enough town meetings. And we're gonna get the same people asking the same questions.
Okay.
And I just was hoping to alleviate some
The problem-
aggravation.
Deb, the problem we're gonna have if we have an informational meeting, okay, on the warrant. So say we have the draft warrant, okay? And we have an informational meeting. I'll put how much would you wager that you're gonna have people, well, I'm gonna make an amendment to that. I want that article to change. I want this change. I don't agree with this number. I think that this article needs to be split into two. I think that we need to do,
That's what you're asking.
this is the problem, Deb. If we hold an informational meeting in the community center, okay? And please correct me if I'm wrong, but I've been to quite a few town meetings myself. If we were to hold an informational meeting and the public attends, how well do you think it's going to go over that I start the meeting and say there will be absolutely no public input at this meeting? Yeah, that's gonna chap some asses. Who's done that? I've done that in an informational meeting.
Yeah.
I'd love to see the informational meeting minutes. No, that was a workshop. Get your meetings straight first, please. Workshop, guess what? I want everybody to understand this as well. In a selectmen's meeting, the select board is being extremely gracious. Okay, and I say that lightly. Selectmen's meeting, selectmen's workshop, informational meeting, public hearing, we don't have to allow you to speak. We can tell you, you need to sit there and be quiet. We're not taking your comment. We can do that at any time. That is our purview, and it's a legal purview. Read your statutes. My point to this is, how happy do you think the taxpayers are going to be if we have an informational meeting? And I just want to point one meeting out that happened not this past year before. Municipal Fire Department. That was the public hearing. I myself, as a selectman, was absolutely floored when it was stated right out of the gate, there will be no changes to this document. And I was like, what? I didn't even get to look at it first. And I was duly elected at the time. So how do you think the taxpayers are going to react to the select board if we hold an informational meeting with the town warrant, all the articles, the payroll, all the expenditures, and we walk in there and say, there will be no, we're not taking any comment at all. Here it is. And then we start walking down each article and reading them off. How do you think the taxpayer is going to act?
It's not sinking in. Just saying.
It's going to piss me off.
People come in the day before to pick up their books and they look at it and then they start all this ruckus the night of town meeting.
Well, none of us have the control of who picks it up, how they read it, how they interpret it. That's why we have an open town meeting. Well, that's on their cognizance, not mine. I'm just saying. I would.
I'm here.
I would really.
We'll see what it is.
You guys want information? Have at it. Oh no, it's not. I'll watch it. I'll watch it.
You want 1,000 people to try to do a warrant?
Yeah, that'd be great.
I don't think so.
Come on, man. Optimism, Frank. Optimism. Mr. Merrill. I'm working on it. My review, yeah.
Just you like the other people haven't had a chance.
What'd you say?
So no.
No, I'm reading mine. It's at my office on my desk with some highlights on it. If you'd like to come down, I'll show it to you. So before you say that no, that I'm not doing something, please make sure I do.
Yeah, you haven't seen. And I think that's what Brian is.
Well, we have to have a meeting. We have to have a meeting. I just got the copy to these two yesterday. So please allow us a little bit of time to do it, and then we're gonna have to have a workshop. Because I've already got 2 inputs right now that I need to bring to these guys. For changes, Vinny's going through he's got stuff that's not highlighted, it's underlined.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's doing. He
Vacation, I haven't seen.
he's a big boy.
I'm
Yes,
a little bit.
it is being worked on. We are on a very tight timeline to get the informational and the public hearing done prior to the April 1 referendum. So it is being worked on. The short-term rental just went to Ben McCall for that ordinance. Week turnaround so that we can get that out for public consumption and set up the informational and public hearing for that as well. So there'll be those 3 ordinances that will, or I say ordinances, the STR and municipal are ordinances, the change to the dog ACO ordinance, whichever way you want to go, is just a change to, it's just a change. It's not a new ordinance. The other 2 will be new. First time vote on those documents. So.
Will you have like copies of that for like the next select meeting?
Copies of what?
This thing you're highlighting.
It's going on the website.
What's going on with us?
I already gave you your copy. I'm highlighting my copy. So that my points, I can talk to the 2 other selectmen when we have a workshop and say, hey, this is what I think of this. But you're not getting my copy. I'm not putting that out to the public. That's mine. That's strictly mine.
Somebody's asked to make 2 changes or something.
Yes, I've had 2 individuals that have reached out to say, hey, I'd like to see this added. Yeah. Added, and even before the meeting started, Vinny and I were talking about the fees, fines that are in that document. We highlight them, then we can discuss them in the workshop, and then, if we deem collectively that those changes should be incorporated, we will, and then that document will go out to the public. Once we have any changes that we make, it has to go back for legal review. Before the legal review has to be over that public hearing. So public hearing is the final draft. That's it. That's what's presented to the taxpayers, and then we take it to vote.
So if I want to make some changes to it, I bring it to you.
Yes, submit whatever you guys, and this goes for everybody. If there's an ordinance out there that's being put out for review, please make if you have requested changes, yes, submit it to the board. That's what we do. We take them, and I just want everybody to understand, okay? Even the changes that I see, I'm going to ask the attorney. And if the attorney says, no, we can't do that, guess what? We ain't doing it. Because the attorney's the one that has to defend that ordinance in court. And that's minimizing the liability on the town, which is our number 1 job. So you may ask for a change, it may not go, because legally it can't. Or it could change another ordinance. So, but yes, please submit 100%. Email them, write them down, drop them off, anything. Any way of correspondence for us to get those. Yes, we will take those from anyone. All the taxpayers have that opportunity. Please, if you see changes like that, please bring them forward. I'm not trying to single anybody out. I want everybody included. Well, maybe.
Even the ones who don't have dogs.
Huh? I don't have any dogs. I got enough animals at home. I don't need no pets too.
You like guy.
Yeah. Freaking terrorists.
Well, that just happened.
Okay. So.
Could I ask a question about a dog? So people have to come to the town office to register their dogs?
Yeah.
Okay. Suppose there's a dog right there that aren't registered, but they know they have to should do this.
That's when she should.
So what happened?
When they come onto my radar, they go in the shelter, they had to pay the count, I think it's $30 now, is it $25?
Hasn't been approved yet.
No,
No,
yeah.
Oh, the one you're talking about the current one. Yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, okay, the current one.
Shelter, there's the policy. I had cases where dogs weren't licensed. And I charged them $70 a piece to get the dogs out. I increased the fine.
Pay it?
Yes, indeed, they want the dog. And they had to license the dog first. So once something is on my radar and they're not licensed, then I can address it. But I can't go around like, wanna see this, wanna see that, because
But when I first moved here, I had a dog and I didn't grill it. Alvin Blake, Alvina's dad, was the dog officer. He'd keep coming, bringing the dog back. And he said, that dog gets away one more time, I'm gonna shoot him. What he really meant was he's gonna shoot me because I should be the one controlling the dog. You know, but he was a gentleman. He was a great guy.
Needs to go back to Gills. Good. Why? How do you think that?
where'd you have the lady shot?
I got a.
Well, they should have a copy of it.
Not that easy, I don't care what they say. Really? Yeah. Not that easy. Second day. It's a hot seat that's in this meeting. You're not gonna have that much.
This meeting's going to the dogs.
Okay, folks. Thank you. Anything, ma'am?